Today was an important day in England. The Act of Parliament that gave lockdown emergency powers to the central government has officially been expired. It's gone, repealed, done. Because this was the last bit we were waiting for, and a lot of people were saying that even though the restrictions were removed a few months ago, the government still has the powers, so let's not celebrate just yet. It's part of the plan, they're going to bring it back. None of that happened, obviously. But while England is free, let's talk about Wales. Let's talk about Scotland. Because what Mark Drakeford, the First Minister of Wales, did recently, a few days ago, was very sneaky, very disgusting, and without going through any scrutiny from the mainstream media, they decided, the Welsh authorities, to extend the Welsh aspects of these lockdown powers. So despite the fact that the Westminster government don't really have those powers in terms of for the United Kingdom or England, Wales have decided for themselves to extend it. So you can see the Act of 2020, alteration of the expiry date for Wales Regulation 2022. They've extended it to September, at least September. And you know what they can do? They can keep extending it because if they have the Welsh Assembly and everybody else out of fear of not voting against it because, that means you want people to die, they are still playing that game. And the reason this is disgusting is not just because it's immoral, it's also counterproductive. Look at the numbers of the daily cases and everything else going on. Compare England to Wales or England to Scotland as well. There's no much difference. In fact, Wales is actually much worse in terms of the actual per person is 1 to 12 in terms of cases. England and Scotland is 1 to 18. And by 18, every 18 people, you have one person with a case, allegedly. Same thing with this person, Queen Nicola of Sturgeon. She's obsessed with power. She can't give it up. This is the issue that we have. At least in Westminster, in the House of Commons, because of all the shambolic situations and the scandals that happened, the Tory government, the Boris Johnson cabinet, didn't really feel empowered in a sense that, to be power hungry and keep the control and everything else that they have, because otherwise they would have kicked them out. And people were showing outrage when it came to the hypocrisy, the double standards, and also the irrationality of these policies. So they knew that if they want to stay in power, that's the one smart thing about the Tory party. All they care about is the instinct that they have is about survival and staying in power, winning elections. So they know that if they do something stupid long term, repeating it, then they will be kicked out. Something that Sturgeon and Mark Drakeford right now don't have to worry about because it's essentially a one-party state in Scotland. And in Wales, it's a similar situation but slightly different. Especially in Scotland, it's a one-party state because opposition parties are completely redundant at this point. So she doesn't have to worry about outrage from the Scottish population. And this is so unhealthy for our democracy. And someone has to talk about this. I'm still waiting to see something on BBC or Sky or Channel 4 or any other channel about this issue that's still going on in Wales and Scotland. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi and we are the media.